Okay, so this is our second lesson or third lesson on past simple and past continuous. So we learned that when we form the past continuous, we need subject, the auxiliary verb to be, and the main verb in the ing form. I was sleeping, I was sleeping, you were sleeping. I was sleeping, you were sleeping. He was sleeping. She
was,
it
was,
we were. They were. So we just need to remember this auxiliary verb. I was sleeping, you were sleeping. He was sleeping, she was sleeping, it was sleeping, we were sleeping, they were sleeping. So we learned about past continuous and we learned about past simple. I and then the main verb. And the important thing is learning the irregular verbs which come up in Essential Grammar in Use, page 245. Just quickly show you the book again, in case you haven't got it already. There it is, page 245. Please learn all of the 120, 130 verbs. Irregular verbs, it's really important we learn them so we can talk and tell stories in the past. But this is something I didn't explain last week. Okay, so I also explained that we use while before the past continuous, but we can also use when. But we must use only when before the past simple. Last week I also explained that we can change the order of the sentence. While I was sleeping, I hurt my neck, or I hurt my neck while I was sleeping. I was driving along when suddenly my phone rang, or when my phone rang, I was driving along. It doesn't matter which way you put it, but the important thing is you need to think when you see the sentence, because it could be in either way, you have to think, what happened first? And the thing that happened first is in the past continuous. The thing that happened second is in the past simple. And that's what you need to remember. So it's quite obvious when you see it written like this, while I was sleeping, that happened first. I hurt my neck, that happened second. But English people might turn it around. I hurt my neck while I was sleeping. This comes second, but it still happened first. Same here. I was driving along when suddenly my phone rang. Easy. This happened first, this happened second. But sometimes we write it like this. When my phone rang, I was driving. This still happened first, even though we wrote it second. So that's what we need to remember. Past continuous first, followed by the past simple. Or of course, if we're just telling a story with no interesting bits like this, we just tell it all in the past simple. I left home at 5 o'clock, I got into my car, and I started to drive. We can just tell stories like this, but then it's really nice to add a bit of this in. I left home at 5 o'clock, I got into my car, and I started to drive. I was driving along when suddenly my phone rang. We've added a bit more interest into our story, and that's what you need to do for homework. Please write a story about, it doesn't have to be real, it could be, call it what happened last weekend, and write a story. Do some stuff in the past simple, and add some past continuous, past simple, past continuous into the story. Homework for next week, please write an essay, a story. What happened to me last weekend? And it can be crazy, you can make it up. Use lots of verbs. Thank you.